Hey everyone. So I decided to do something a little fun. I was like kind of just hanging out and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna grace IG with another reading this week. And okay, so here's the deal. I basically created 4 separate piles of cards here. So what your job is to pick a deck. So here we have, and I know it's backwards, but like I'm just doing it from the way that I'm seeing it. I don't know. It's okay. We can experiment and have fun here. So this would be deck number 1, closest to the flowers, 2, 3, and 4. And so there'll be 4 separate readings. You pick which deck calls out to you the most, or which, not deck, but stack of cards calls out to you the most. And I will put timestamps into the description of this video so you can skip ahead to whichever stack you choose. So it's like a little choose your own adventure. I just figured it'd be fun, you know, why not? Why not? Why not create some variety? Get a little pep and a little pizzazz on here. So, all right, so choose a deck, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and jump ahead to the timestamp is marked below. On YouTube. I'll also post it on YouTube, but you should be able to click the timestamp on the YouTube video. IG, I don't think so much. You might have to scroll. So just giving you a heads up on that. All right, anyways, I'll see you at the reading you chose. Oh, okay, and welcome back. So this is for those of you that chose reading or deck or stack number 1. The first one. All right, so here we go. I'm excited. So, all right, our first card out is nostalgia. Focus on the here and now. So, I love that there's like a little mermaid here and she's got kind of like cute little like mermaid pasties on her top here. The one that's like a little space cadet over here. So what I'm really feeling from this card is like, especially because they're in kind of like a food court place, it's like whatever you need to nourish you and to kind of balance you out emotionally right now is here. It's not someplace you've already been, and it's not someplace you're about to be. Again, I was talking about in one of my most recent readings, and it's card number 33. I was talking about in my most recent readings, you know, that lack, it's important to have like an awareness of lack or depletion or lack mentality, in that when you're not present, you're engaging in lack mentality because there's a lack of groundedness, there's a lack of your presence, there's a lack of your energy that is that connecting force, that wand, so to speak, that drives down our intentions from the ether, from the astral. And with this nostalgia, it's like kind of going back and having our hooks into places or time spaces. Sorry, I just like rhyming today. Having our energy kind of focused on times or events that have already come and gone or aren't present here yet. And so, and it's like, we're not necessarily being productive and focusing on those times unless you're doing actual work healing some of those past occurrences or healing whatever whatever you're projecting out into the future. And so, but the best way to do that is to be here now. So anyways, let's see. So we have nature spirits. We have new moon. Ooh, next new moon's in Virgo. And we have new life. Okay. So, with this nature spirits, I really love this card. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's like telling me you're right on track. You're right on track. And there's nothing that you need to change about yourself or what you're doing or how you're showing up right now, other than just being here. And you're gonna find that this gets a lot easier as we approach the new moon. You're gonna find that it gets a lot easier to absorb whatever knowledge, whatever light, whatever awareness that is present for you currently, that you are fine just as you are right now. There's nothing to change, and maybe it's time to just be. Here we have this new life. Because energetically, you've been a bit scattered. You've been allowing, again, with this nostalgia theme coming in, you've been kind of in many places at once. Or maybe you've been here operating in this reality, but you've been doing too much, being really scattered, doing more than what you're capable of really containing your vessel, like more than what your vessel can contain energetically, mentally, emotionally. Taking on way too much. And even possibly being there for others who may be caught up within their own life cycles, and realizing that you need to kind of step away from that in order to find and seek your own balance. Because I feel like there's been a tendency to over nurture and over protect others merely as a means of feeling like you can also accomplish it for yourself by doing it for them. And sometimes we give too much and thinking that it's going to fix us, when in fact it does nothing of the sort. It just generates more karma that we have to wade through that isn't necessarily ours. So it's like doing extra credit work but not getting any extra credit. It's like, why would you do that anyways? Just be good at what you're doing in the first place, and you don't have to feel like you have to do the extra work, right? Anyways, okay. So next we have Queen of Wands, the Sun, the Empress, and the Strength card. There 4 cards wanted to come out. I feel like the Empress and the Strength card wanted to be kind of crossed like this, because I remember when I was pulling them. So yeah, Queen of Wands reversed, the Sun, the Empress, and the Strength card. Okay. So yeah, it's just this feeling that you're missing something. This feeling that you can't be as open as you'd like to. Perhaps withholding and covering up and making up for it. Withholding from yourself and making up for it by giving too much of yourself to other arenas or avenues or people, situations, what have you. And really kind of creating your own bad luck, so to speak, creating your own lack by through this type of compensation, overcompensating that you perhaps may be doing, instead of allowing yourself to just let in more joy and be more adaptable and be more flowing and just allow yourself to simply be radiant. Sometimes our presence alone is enough to help shift a situation. And when we do a little too much, we do that little extra credit work, it actually ends up biting us up in the tail, biting our tails, biting us in the butt. I'm not great with these human sayings, okay? So yeah, and then with the Empress and the Strength card, it's really just kind of like, all right, this is some learned behavior here. That's what I'm feeling. And it's time to really step outside of yourself and look at you and not other people, and not the things outside of you or surrounding you, but take a step outside of yourself and look at you. Get that expanded view of yourself. Because I feel a lot of tension due to needing to achieve something or reach some type of goal or checkpoint. When in all actuality, it's not something that you have to do. It's more someone that you have to be that will allow you to kind of cloak yourself in whatever it is that you're desiring, whatever it is that you're working toward. You already kind of have that garment or that uniform in your closet, but perhaps you just don't fit it yet because you're carrying too much weight. Yeah. And I just think water weight, emotional weight, going back to that mermaid from the first from the first card there. And I feel like, too, a lot of what's going on is through the communication. I think you're losing a lot of your power through what you're speaking and what types of conversations you're engaging in right now. And I think that it feels like there's some type of way in which you're self-sabotaging or disempowering like your reality and what you're here for through what you're saying, in order to kind of not manipulate or control a situation, but in order to kind of sculpt it. It's almost like so you don't have to keep hearing about it. It's like trying to just find a quick fix maybe for someone or something, but deceiving yourself in the process, which makes sense. Anyhow, let's see what else we've got here. All right, so we have Lenormand cards. We have the Mountain. We have the Child playing with the stick and hoop. And we have the Fox. Okay, so with this, yes, there's some type of block, some type of challenge. There's some type of increasing force, like something keeps kind of, it's almost like it's something that just keeps getting worse, like a Chinese finger trap. And it's like the more that you seek to get out of the situation, the tighter and more tense it becomes. Whereas really it's you taking something too seriously, again, like putting too much weight on a situation. And there's part of you, or rather a voice that you carry within you that is very slick and very manipulative and self-sabotaging, and that actually bullies this more chicken or meek aspect of you. But that meek aspect carries a lot of your superpowers and a lot of your strength and nourishment and what exactly the force that you need in order to build yourself up. Allowing yourself to really show up and be fully adorned in the gems of who you are. So yeah, and then I'm gonna pull one last card here. Like attracts like. Ho ho, what? All right, if you long for more love, be more loving. So yeah, and I love it. It's just like this girl like just hanging out with her with a basically like her American Girl doll. It looks just like her. Yeah, I love the like serious fairy energy in this one. Oh gosh, and there's another one. Oh gosh, it just keeps going forever. So take a step back, be present, look at the situation, you know, objectively for a second, and be your own best friend here. You know, be your own best friend here. Be the person that you need right now, instead of trying to be someone else's person that they need. You can do that for yourself. They can do that for themselves if there's another person involved here. Yeah, and drop the heaviness. Drop that heaviness so you can really like step into whatever beautiful robes have been gathering dust in your closet. Anyways, so yeah, that was the first reading. I hope that you enjoyed that. On to the next one. Oh, dang it. All right, this is for those of you that chose the second stack of cards. So here we go. All right, first card out is gold. Woo! There's something. Oh, there's something. Throat chakra shit right there. You don't need someone else to fix you. And just, oh, you see that beautiful like kintsugi pottery, like fixing the cracks with gold? Love that. I love that. Oh, so big time, you've been perhaps holding on to something that someone has said to you. And I love the blue in their hair too, which is like, anytime we get a haircut, it's like we're chopping off and letting go of some type of memory or energy, some type of frequency that we've carried with us. And I almost feel like, because this blue doesn't go all the way up, and there's some type of voice, there's some type of something, communication, belief that someone impressed on you that really just needs to be chopped off, cut away. Yeah. And again, like the seashells, there's a lot of like watery stuff coming up today. And I mean, Pisces full moon, I get it. I get it. But it's like, I feel like this time you're really gonna like cut this and clear this away. So next cards out, we have growth. Super appropriate. We have fire. There we go. And we have release. There we go. Release. Oh, lovely, lovely. Okay. So I almost feel like this was someone who probably, whoever gave you these words that, you know, impressed these words or this belief upon you, it was in a place where you were vulnerable and you perhaps were, I feel like it was a love situation. I feel like it's more relationship based, but I also feel like they mirrored something about like someone's mother maybe, or a mother figure. And I feel like these words kind of came to you, this belief kind of stuck itself to you when you were a bit younger, during more of a developmental phase of your life. A time where you were really ambitious and productive, which you probably feel like you aren't so much right now. And it has probably kept you from pursuing something that has kind of come back to reinvigorate you and to charge you with something that you're meant to do, something that you're meant to offer. And so being in such a time that we are now, it seems like the only option is to move through this and to really bust through whatever belief was imposed upon you, whatever this voice is, and identifying it. Yeah. Because it's like, you know, you have this resource, this gift, but you just don't know what to do with it. And it's like you almost want to give it away to someone, and maybe you have, maybe it's been exploited by people, whether it's something you can do or something that you have. And it's time for you to reclaim that. It's time for you to use it for yourself, because giving it to other people and putting it in others' hands never resulted in quite the outcome that you had hoped for. And right now it's time, you know it's time. You know it's time. Okay. Next card's out. We have the Fool with the Growth card. We have the Three of Cups. And we have the Four of Cups. Okay. Yeah. So with this Fool card again, like very important time of your growth period. You know, I feel like when you were really attempting to create a life for yourself, it feels like teenage, like early 20s type of stuff. You know, when you're like really excited, very open to everything that's going on, and at the same time just wanting to feel accepted in this new elevated like point of freedom, you know, and knowing oneself and just being like, here I am, world. Like, but at the same time, people wanting to prey on that, because they wanted what you had. They wanted what you had. And with this Three of Cups here, it was just like, I feel like again, like a betrayal through others, and like being around people who were more predatorial and perhaps didn't really have the didn't really accept their own good qualities that you saw in them, and so you kind of got bumped down to where they were, and your dreams and aspirations and your talents and gifts had to kind of come down with you to meet them, to be around them. And now that those people are kind of out of your life, or that you're in kind of turning over a new leaf and really seeing things as they are, seeing yourself as you are, you're really cutting off those split ends, so to speak. Because there was just something that happened, I feel like, that kind of like triggered it. I feel like there was just a point perhaps of being so frustrated. I love on the shirt, like, over it. It says over it. And it's almost like she doesn't even know this cup is there. She doesn't even know this cup is there. Like, it just materialized. It just like appeared there. And I think it was this upset. It's interesting because, you know, 3 of Cups, this progression. And I feel like there's something that happened that got you to look at this point of your life and look at that situation and be like, fuck. You know, that caused some resentment that you've been working through, and caused a little bit of bitterness and all of these kind of feelings coming up, and kind of getting to a point where you're taking ownership of it, and the universe is offering you, it's coming in, it's offering you that opportunity to show up the way you should have to begin with. Not should have, but could have. The way the universe has been wanting you to show up to begin with. And you're almost ready for it. I think that it feels like there's still some stuff to kind of shake loose from within. I highly recommend just kind of like some movement to kind of help that, as well as like just kind of journal it out if you feel like that's something you feel up for. Maybe some breath work, because I just had to take a big sigh just then. Okay, so here we have, what is it, like this castle tower? I always forget, but I know. And then there's a letter, and then there's the stars. I almost feel like this feels like going back to school. This feels like someone going back to school in order to reignite or pursue again some type of dream, some type of aspiration, and doing so just very quietly, you know, because I feel like, again, there's that soreness of not wanting to speak up and out about what you're doing because of what has happened to you previously, and not wanting to associate in any way whatsoever with anyone that is like, that was part of that time period or that situation. And here we have, consider your foundation. Look at how committed you are to love. And love could be anything. It doesn't have to be romantic, but you could love what you do. You can be passionate about what you do. And it's just like, I feel like, look around you at the places where you choose to invest your time, effort, money, resources, anything like that. And it shows what you're passionate about. It shows what you're drawn toward, you know? Even though like we do live in a society, we live in a capitalistic society, you know, where it's like we're told to identify with what we purchase and what we buy. But I feel like, A, you can get rid of the stuff that doesn't reflect that, and B, get down to only the materials and the objects that do reflect that. You know, having your house be your vision board, having the things that you purchase, you know, be an investment toward that passion, whether it is you supporting others, you know, whose work you enjoy, or you supporting yourself so you have the materials to do the things that you enjoy, to rekindle that spark that was perhaps, you know, stamped on or kind of watered down by your surroundings, plain and simple. So yeah, I hope that this was helpful. Really engage and tap into that radiance, tap into that, like, I just feel like there's some positivity, some action for you to take, and it'll come, and when you're ready, that's when it'll come. So don't try to rush through anything in thinking that, hey, I'm gonna feel better if I go ahead and just hop into it. It's like, take that time, because you still have some sore spots there, and it's still gonna be a little bit triggering, you know, but the universe is gonna offer you that opportunity when you're ready. I don't think you have to worry about the timing here. Just worry about, again, what's right in front of you, and really releasing and removing your associations with that group, with that situation, like burping. So yeah, and just really, really take in only that which enlivens you, and tap in once in a while and really channel the energy of that person you were right before you had this situation, before you encountered these people. So yeah. Ooh. Hey, this is for those of you who chose stack number 3. Let's hop into it. So, the first one is Tower. Unplug and relax for a spell. It's funny, because it also kind of reminds me of the Hanged Man, or the Hanged Person, I'll say that. So it's like, I almost feel like it's being in this place of just like stasis after some type of life-altering thing. Tea, I like that there's tea here. So it's like some type of truth was unveiled. But in a way, it's offered you the space to unwind. I feel like this was you trying to keep something together, and it fell apart on its own accord. And now you're kind of just in this beautiful kind of relaxed space. And I'm loving the color palette in these cards right now. So next out we have Past Life, we have Meditate, and we have Full Moon. So I almost feel like either something recently came to an end with the full moon in Pisces, and it was something where perhaps you were driven in kind of this whirlwind of energy. There was a lack of perspective with whatever was going on, or the people that you were working with. And it was all kind of this internal stuff that you could see happening around you that wasn't reflecting a lot of the external stuff that was being that was happening or being worked on, because it feels like a group effort here. And in a way, it's like you were there and you were gonna kind of stick around and offer kind of this quiet, nurturing support, but at the same time doing your best to protect yourself, doing your best to be like that silent intelligence that just kind of exists. It's like, you know, as it's all crumbling around you and you're kind of seeing everything, it's almost like you were just this like spirit kind of watching from the outside, but like physically being present within it. It's almost like there were a bunch of like, I get the image of like you kind of sitting in a courtyard and there being a bunch of like street performers all vying for attention, and you're just chilling on the side, kind of watching it all unfold, you know. People coming up and noticing you once in a while and asking you questions and not really paying attention to the ones putting on a big show. So it's like you really realizing how just your presence alone and being solid in that can actually magnetize the right people, the right situations to you. And so now I think like you're just in this place of like still being. You know, I think that there are reasons where you could be worried or concerned or stressed, but you just know, like there's just something about you know you're protected. It's like you don't need much in order to make it through. because you've really kind of stripped it down to bare bones. All right, we have the King of Wands, the Four of Swords, the Ten of Cups. So King of Wands, Four of Swords, Ten of Cups. With this King of Wands, it's like I feel like you've just reached this state of balance. Sometimes it takes us being in like hyper chaotic spaces in order to find that calm. In order to like get to a point where you're like, I'm just gonna disengage right now. Because like, what even is this? What even is this? This is not what I've set to create. It's just like something about you like clicked in and you got super grounded. And you saw everything for what it was in that moment, and like it changed. It like hit a switch. It activated something within you in the midst of this challenge. It was something like it was familiar, and that's what like kind of dropped you into this space. And then with this Four of Swords, like I almost feel like it almost kind of looks like someone like laying down and doing some breath work and some like visualization. It's like just having to like step away and get some quiet time to really kind of process what is going on. It's like there was something deep within you that knew what was going on, and now it's kind of hit the mental body and you're accessing it there, and it's making sense. Like you had a feeling, and now it's like you get it. And then this Ten of Cups. It's almost just like the ending or whatever that occurred has really left you feeling validated and really justified, perhaps in some of the things that you tried to bring to the table and that were ignored. And I think you were like, yep, this is not the right space. This is not the right time. This is not the right space. And I'm okay with that. And right now I'm just gonna be here. I'm gonna do me. I don't know, it just feels really like I'm okay with this. Like almost like that meme where everything's on fire and the dog's just like, this is fine. This is fine. It's like, because I almost like the word loyalty is coming up, because you realize like you must remain loyal to yourself. And I feel like it's taken you a minute to cultivate that and to trust yourself. And now there's this great self-assuredness that's without ego, or it's like balance between like divinity and ego. And it's just very like, this is your reality, you know? This is what I'm focused on, you know? And this isn't what I'm here to do. All right, so we have Clover. We have the dog. Oh, loyalty. And we have Clouds. So, yeah, I definitely feel like by trusting in and being loyal to yourself, despite what any type of perceived restrictions were or have been, you're able to break through some type of confusion. You're able to break through and just wait out the storm. Next card is Romance. Lavish the one you love with personal attention and affection. I think that one is you. Or someone who's quietly been by your side supporting you. Someone who's been waiting for you. Either you've been waiting for yourself or someone's been waiting for you. And there's some type of loyalty here. Or maybe it's someone who mirrors who you could be right now. that is close by. Someone who is that unseen anchor while you seek to embody, or learning from them to embody that energy in order to make it through anything, in order to live a life that is truly a reflection of you and your gifts. It's like, so just take a break, you know? This is a time to not add to a situation. This is a time to just confidently take it easy. Just confidently, you know, pull back in your energy, call back in your energy and your resources, because pushing them out will be an act of aggression, and the storm will reflect that back at you. So yeah, all right, on to the next one. Okay, and for those of you that chose the 4th stack, here we go, here we are. Okay, so 2 of these oracle cards wanted to pop out for you. So let's see what we've got here. We have Princess. You can be your own knight. Oh, I'm so excited to see what comes up. I pulled tarot for this. And Voyage. You already have all the answers. Well, you already have all the answers, so you can just stop the video. This is your chance. Stop the video. No, I'm gonna keep going. Okay. We have Time. We have Stormy. And we have Guides. And I'm gonna stop right there because I didn't mean to pull all of those oracle cards at once. But something in me was just like, all right, like, just do it. And it makes sense. It seems to be kind of coming together in such a way. So it seems like you've been up against something and you've just kind of waited to take action on it because you feel like it's just gonna get torn to shreds anyways. It's like sending out a carrier pigeon or something with a letter, or like a paper airplane, and it's like there's really heavy rain and you're like, it's just gonna get disintegrated anyway, so why bother? Like maybe I need someone else to be a conduit for me in order to get the message out there, in order to be able to put myself out there, in order to be able to initiate something here. Because it's like you have an idea of where you want to go, but it's like you're just concerned. You're like, I need a guide. Because like you see how others kind of play the game of life, and you feel like they always have so much support, or they have a team or a system or something that protects them and amplifies whatever that they're doing. But it's like you didn't see the process to get there, because perhaps the container or the message became bigger than them, and therefore they needed to have those other things in place because it helped stabilize the magnitude of the energy of the transmission that they were putting out there. And it's just not your time yet. Because right now, like I was talking about in the 3rd reading, the reading right before yours about this storm, and like how this storm will kind of manipulate your trajectory. And in its way, it is this ever-changing kind of pattern or wave or current that's really, really erratic. And I think it's this full moon energy. It was really like erratic and powerful. And none of us could really see that far ahead of ourselves in it. And so it was just a call to stop. Okay, what is causing this need, this anger? What is causing this reaction? It's like having a rash and being like, okay, what is it that is causing this breakout to happen? What is it that my body doesn't like or doesn't need that's creating this response, this reaction right now? And it's almost like your guides have just made you like a nice little pool, You know, it's like I really want to go to the beach, I really want to go to the beach, but it's hurricane season. So the guides were just like, hey, like someone brought you a little kiddie pool or something and you can just swim in it for a little bit, you know, or take a nice bath, or someone gave you a nice bath bomb, you just take a nice bath instead. Because it's like there was just something you needed, but you wanted the biggest and best version of it, but it takes time and it takes resources to get there that right now you just don't need or have, and right now just aren't available because everyone else is rushing for them. All right, next card's out. We have Six of Swords reversed. Makes perfect sense. Not right now. Stay where you are. Two of Cups. Two of Cups. Interesting. There's a lighthouse. There's a lighthouse in this one, in this Two of Cups. So I feel like it's almost like someone's going to get washed up from the storm and end up, and it's someone's coming into your life or emerging into the space with you, and it's exactly who you need. It's like being on a stranded island and finding out there's another person there. It's one of those things, and it may seem like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, haha, like funny for a second, and then you're like, oh shit, this is someone that we need each other right now. And it may not seem like that at first. Yeah. And then we have the Emperor. And I feel like this is like a warning to just not be too stubborn, not to be a little bit flexible. Know who you are, but know where you can be more flexible. Know where you can be more adaptive. And also pay attention to where you make promises that you cannot keep, because there is self-sabotage in trying to appear better than you are. Be honest about where you're at. Be honest about the experience that you're having right now. Here we have the Anchor. Yeah, Anchor. Anchor, Six of Swords reversed. Time. Like, it's gonna take time. Slow down right now. This is not the time. You're gonna be waiting in the quicksand. We have birds. So someone coming in, really, really bright communication, really setting up the scene, exploring people, you know, finding a connection or a safe haven or a place of like core resonance with another person. And we have the Bouquet. So it's just like, yeah, I feel like this is someone you have to, anything that you say, be committed to it. Be present with them because they want to be present with you. And that's what they're seeking. So please do not reflect what they're running away from right now. And that is someone who can't own up to what they say they're going to deliver. Don't be political about this. Be you. Choose love. You always have a choice. Make yours with love. So that's that. I'm not even going to talk about that last card. That's very easy. And I mean, like, love can mean anything. Love can mean anything. Just needs to bring joy, you know. Choose joy. Does it spark joy? Anyways, that's all I've got. That's all I've got. I'm gonna finish my coffee now. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.